said that in cabinet now, I have a woman sitting by my side at the right hand. And every time that I travel, a woman will be telling cabinet and will be in charge of the country. This is the opportunity that I can give to the good people of this country. And I have the privilege and honor to introduce to you the next Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Her Excellency Professor J. Naana.
Thank you very much for the kind introduction. To the President, to the Mama, and the President of the House, Vice President of the House. Let me thank all of you for being here this afternoon. I know how busy your schedules are. In the Chief's house, it's like you can take any trouble we have any time. So I know you don't have a lot of time to waste. So I want to appreciate this and also ask my voice to apologize our very professions for keeping anybody waiting. So this is not deliberate. We apologize. But we want to thank you for having us. My job is just to introduce myself to you. I know you've heard it, seen pictures, but it shouldn't end there. And I know His Excellency had wished to come with me, but the rest I think has been explained. So I'm very grateful that you have made time to receive this. Going forward, what you read in the paper is true. I met with the media executive and I just summed up the import of what it is that my message is. Development is anchored on peace. Peace can be disrupted through language. Language is a very powerful tool for establishing or for uprooting peace. And that is why I always urge that politics is about development. That is all it is. It's about the people giving you power, so you return the power to them. You return the power to them by removing the things that don't allow the best in them to come out. That is all there is. It's not about violence. It is not about excluding people. It is not about being arrogant. It is not about insulting. None of the above is politics. We have tried to close everything as politics. It is not. Politics is about linking minds. It's about proposing how best do we move our community, our family, our children, our country from one step to the other. So we have, all of us have deviated with all kinds of things that some of us feel are not helpful at all. I just want to talk about one or two things. And I know that if I come here and I don't talk about education, nobody will forgive me. And it's not that I'm such an expert. It's about listening to people, it's about talking to people, it's about tolerating ideas even when you feel they are different from yours. And as somebody who has taught for less all my life, the one thing we are very interested in when we are doing a research paper is the scholars who disagree with you. Because all you know, they already knock off your hypothesis that they have something to offer that you have not thought about. So tolerance is key to peace, tolerance is key to development, tolerance is key to linking minds. It is important in seeing where it is that your own shortcomings are and where somebody's strengths lay, and what you can make of it. Now, I urge all of us that we tilt our politics that way and move away from all these unhelpful behaviors. You know, it's as if it is all right that we can just really insult one. Whether the person is of our father's age or mother's age or a priest or a king, it's as if we don't care. We should begin to care, because none of us, this is helping us. And as I said, if I don't talk about education, then I just want to focus on education and say that education is never helpful if you focus only on one link. No, we need to see education as a link in a chain, and to recognize that you are as strong as your weakest link. It begins at the beginning. It never begins at the middle. When you are building a house, it's about the foundation. There's a reason for it. And I like one of our church's proverbs when we say that when you hear that the house has fallen to the ground, you don't ask if the ceiling also came with it. It is only the foundation that will remain. Even then, sometimes it goes down. And that is why when we look in our manifesto, we see that we are putting emphasis on basic education. That is where it begins. If you put the building blocks there and they are strong, the student can rise perhaps to any level possible. But I know that the topical issue has become the secondary school, especially to do free SHS. What we tried to do was to target the intervention, because we know that in this country there are many poor people. There are children who may not be in school because they don't have standards, because they don't have school bags, because they don't have uniforms, because they don't have money to take the trotro to school. So we started by targeting that. We also look at our birth rate. We have a very high birth rate in this country. And that's a blessing, I think, because you have a youthful bulge. You are not going to wash the youth away. You can try to reduce your birth rate, but the children are here. And so what do you do with them? You create the opportunities for them. Chairman has already talked about the National Apprenticeship Program, so I'm not dwelling on that. I'll just focus on the SHS for the time being. So you need to build more schools. The old schools will not do. And if you look at the data, you recognize that there are many children who qualified by our own submissions but who are not in school. You can keep expanding on the old schools all you want. At some point, the reverse are the same. Quality will go down. And then all the effort and the dreams we all have for our children may not be realized to the fullest capacity. And any country that is not very mindful about the future workforce is really creating a problem for in itself. And that is why we started by building the in-block. It wasn't for the fun of it. And we emphasize that if your parents don't have money to send you to a boarding school, that was not a good reason why you shouldn't have secondary education. So we build schools that we thought looked nice. And more than the physical ones, also the inside. We put in the requisite number of labs. Labs and equipment that the top schools that we all want our children to go to, they don't even have them. And that is one of my regrets. Going forward, we had a full strategy to ensure that the children coming from those schools will have performance that is as enviable as those coming to the A schools or so. Why are some schools A? Why are others not A? So these are some of the things we're trying to do. So going forward, when we say we are going to abolish the double track, it is something that we are really passionate about. You've all been, excuse me to say, we've been 15 years before. And I'm not sure if at age 15, I was to go to school 3 months, come home 3 months. At first, we were told it was a 42-day cycle. It became something else. And I'm not sure what I would have done with myself. I'm not sure what my parents would have done. I'm not sure what some of us would have done with ourselves under that system. Lots of parents assumed that the only thing going to happen was that they were not going to pay fees and that it was going to be business as usual. Nobody predicted the double track. I don't think anybody even predicted the semester or that there's a need every vacation for a child to have vacation classes. When we were trying to work very hard to remove the subject that was attracting vacation classes. So it's like we are back to that track, and now it's even encouraged that when children are at home, they should seek vacation classes. So it begs the question, how about the parents who don't have money to send their children on vacation classes? So it looks like the method was finally not serve the underserved, which was what we were trying to do with the progressively free secondary school. And I'd like to believe that the framers of the Constitution knew what they were doing when they put in the word progressively, because they knew our economy, they knew our trajectory, and they knew that we had to do these things progressively. So how are we going to do it? People ask, all the schools that are abandoned would have absorbed some of the children. The Constitution allows private participation in education, 25 years or so. It is there. So when you are implementing the secondary school free SHS and the private schools are taken out, And they were taking a good percentage of the children. So the children would all move to where they don't need to pay fees. And then once there are no new schools, definitely there will be overcrowding. There's no way you can prevent that. So our strategy is to remove this overcrowding, train more teachers, provide textbooks. We have no plans of giving children pass questions. That is not scholarship. It is not about learning to pass. It is about learning to get on with life. So all this money into pass questions, you need textbooks, you need to learn. And then, if you want to see pass questions, probably last time we were depressing that. Because I asked myself, why do children know pass questions? It is just to give them a sense of what the questions will be like. Okay, or what the format for the examination is going to be like. If that is the case, why don't we change the way in which they examine from Form 1? So that it models this format that they're going to see in one. Actually, when they get there, it's not a surprise. Because at that age, you feel that once you see the question somewhere, that is the question that is coming. It may or may not be the case. And look at all the past questions over the years. Has the syllabus been constant? So these are the things that we are going to tackle. Number one, abolish it by ensuring that you are finishing the e-blocks that are abandoned. I've seen some 90% finished, 80% finished, just left there. And children are taking tennis way to school. We don't think that is the way for us to build a strong workforce in this country. So that's one of them. And then secondly, to seriously diversify the secondary terrain. If the child has talent for something else, why not? So if it is about technical education, and we picked 13 technical schools, we visited them, my team and I visited them physically, each one. We did the human audit, we did the equipment audit, we did the environment audit. And that is how we started putting in the labs, the equipment and so on. That's what we did for the technical schools. Because somebody is technically inclined, that person must have that chance for that talent also to come out. But if you have set the ceiling for the students, that the highest you can go is a diploma, it's okay, but maybe you can do more. And all the things we import, they are also done by people like our own children, but with higher technical education. And you need to begin to do that diversification from the secondary and then move yourself back. So we try to clear that path through technical education, through to technical university. And at the university, you can have a certificate if that's your strength, you can have a diploma if that's the case, you can also have a degree and go on to have a postgraduate degree in a technical subject. Otherwise, we will be stuck here for too long, depleting our environment, and at the end, not getting much returns. So these are some of the reasons that went into the e-block, that went into the expansion of existing secondary schools, so that, yes, as many of our children as possible, especially the vulnerable, there are all these kids in the streets, and it is not that they are not capable, they just don't have the support. And we need to have a way of doing serious means testing, so you are able to determine what the strengths are. And that is why diversifying that terrain is important. And so by so doing, we believe very strongly that we can get rid of the double track. Children can stay in school, learn what they need to learn, come home for the specified vacation and go back. Because, I know I'm talking too much, but I'll learn soon. If you are even doing a timetable, you don't just do a timetable that's Daniel say by heart. You look at the curriculum, look at the syllabus, look at the psychology of the learner. What is the attention span? Why do some have 30 minutes, some have 45 minutes? There are reasons behind them. So you don't just collapse everything, so you cut off the cut-off point, so what they have again 100 or 10 ones, you are learning the same thing. What will the outcome be? So you see how passionate I am. I'm also a mother, I'm also a teacher, and these things really important. So that is why I solicited that for presentation. But we did our manifesto with everyone. This is why we call it the People's Manifesto. We went round. It was interesting. It was just that COVID came and had to modify our methodology. because then we couldn't meet people in big groups anymore. So we solicited memoranda and so on and so forth. Because if you say a farmer, there are different types of farmers, and each one will have his own needs. So you need to go down and know what exactly their needs are. It's almost like saying woman, there are the little kids who need protection, whose health must be brought right. And that is why the primary health care is very important for us. It is the women who take the babies to the clinics. And if the chief compound is so close to you, you wouldn't say that, oh, the baby has a temperature. And because you know you're going to take 4 or 5 times to get to the hospital, you just hope that the temperature will go down, and then that's the end of it. Maybe it is only masking an illness. So you need to make it easy for this woman to take that baby there without tension, of course. At the very least, they can take the temperature, put the food on, bring the temperature down, and then give the baby some medication. So small things don't grow into big things. And so it is for all of us. So there is this baby. And then she grows up to become an adolescent. She is going to school. The school doesn't have washroom, nor water. She needs something to take care of herself as a girl, when her body functions as nature has designed it. So in our previous time, we said, okay, why don't girls stay in school? Why is it that the higher you go, the more we disappear? And we said there are cultural reasons. Some of it is true, but I never believe that that's all there is. There were other reasons, and we needed to confront them. So we said, well, let us ensure that we give them what they need. And who did we target? We turned the whole secondary education thing into a project. So we're building some, expanding some, and also giving scholarship. And all we said was that the money that should go to the girl, add a little bit so she can take care of herself, and she doesn't miss 1 week out of every month. How will she do well? If it's 12 weeks and she's already missed 3 weeks, that's 25% of the time gone. And all of these have implications for free education. So the free education is there, but the girl is not able to take advantage of it. What benefit will that be to the family, to herself, and to the community at home? You all know what happened. Today I hear even the party that ridiculed us run press conferences, these cartoons, use unthinkable words, have not said they remove the taxes. That's fine. Actually, we can all learn. So I don't hold it against anyone. But the better option is what we are offering. That we will supply those sanitary towels free of charge those needy girls. Because that should not be a reason why they are not in school. So then she grows up. Girl grows up and becomes a young woman. She has a profession. And deciding to have a baby is such a big deal for her because of time. And yesterday when I was talking to the media people, I said, you are all managers in this school. Just look at your own data from your own establishment. And you see one thing, the law says it's 3 months maternity leave. But you notice that the law also says that you must take 6 weeks off before the baby comes, then 6 weeks after the baby comes. You know, babies have their own timetable. So sometimes we come when they want to come. Okay, so that is not something like much control over. But one thing they will notice is that very few women, if any, will take it 6 weeks before. They're all women. Sometimes we were with them at work yesterday, and they told you that this one she has delivered. So what has happened? And you also notice that that year that she's going on maternity leave, she will not take the annual leave. Because she knows she needs the extra time. So you see, by the time they take her to the delivery room, and maybe my sisters will also understand, the body is already tired. Because she's worked the whole year without leave. She's growing a baby in her body without rest. Her housework is there. But she's tired. So why are we so surprised about infant mortality or maternal mortality? So these are all things we needed to think about as we go forward. If you are doing a manifesto for the people, you ought to be interested in the pressures and the problems of the people to be able to deal with them. What if she's in the delivery room and there are complications? Why should that be her fault? She's already scared. She already doesn't know what's happening. The family is also scared. Now you're going to tell them to bring money. What is that? So we say no. Under those circumstances, We are all waiting to wear our whites to go for the outdooring. It's joyful. So why should that be burdensome? Okay. And so then she keeps growing. She's a trader, she's a dentist, whatever that she can be. If she has had strong education to hold her hand up to that level. And then she can see a way clear moving up. So that confidence building is important, supporting her is important, encouraging her is very important. And that is why I see this appointment as very, very important for all of us. And an invitation to the woman is an invitation to the whole family. I've said it elsewhere this morning. And it's also an example to the girls that yes, just keep doing the best you can. It is worth something. You may not end up as vice president, that's not the case. But you will see that it is possible for you also to go as high as you can. And that when you do that, it helps you, it helps your children, it helps your family, it helps your husband, it helps the country. So these are some of the things that we are putting in place in our manifesto. And of course, that is why the manifesto, you can see that everybody has something there. If you're a farmer, there's something there for you. If you're an Okada rider, there's something for you. If you're a small-scale trader, there's something for you. If you're a teacher, if you're a nurse, if you're a grandmother, whoever, there's something there for you. This month is breast cancer awareness week. So, awareness month. After that, what happens? Before then, what happens? We know that is why we are setting up a kidney and cancer fund. The moment you are diagnosed with a certain disease, some people even give up on life. It shouldn't be that way. And why do they give up? Because the cost involved. So if you can remove some of the fear, you are also doing something. And private healthcare is also about wellness. It's about healthy living. It's about getting advice to make the right choices. It's a whole complex set of issues. So you are not speaking for too long. I want to thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.